Happening right now, NYPD Commissioner Edward Caban and other leaders holding a briefing regarding safety and security protocols for the U.S. Open in Queens. Let's go to it now.
But the NYPD has been planning for this event a lot longer. No agency has more experience or success at handling large-scale events like the NYPD. And that's because we thoroughly train for them. We constantly prepare for them. And we always work closely with our law enforcement and private sector colleagues. To that end, we are grateful to the dedicated staff of the U.S. Tennis Association for their partnership and for everything they do to make this event run smoothly each year. As always, the planning for this event began the day last year's event ended, and public safety is everyone's top priority. At this time, we can tell you there are no specific or credible threats to the U.S. Open, and the NYPD will be out here every day making sure it's safe. So as you walk the grounds, there'll be security measures that you'll see and others that you won't see. We'll have an increased police presence both inside and outside the complex, including uniformed foot posts, screening checkpoints, bike teams, and regular patrols. We'll have our drones deployed, as well as aviation, harbor, counterterrorism bureau, K-9, transit, and other specialty units. And of course, we'll have the eyes and ears of the public. We cannot overstate how important it is for the people to be engaged, invested, and aware. So if you're here at the U.S. Open and you see anything that doesn't look right or feel right, call 911 or tell a police officer right away. Public safety is everyone's responsibility, especially at large-scale events like this. And we know that we're so much stronger when we work together. Lastly, we urge everyone who's using mass transportation to use our trains and buses, because they're the safest and fastest way to travel and the most efficient way to travel to the U.S. Open. So make sure to check with the MTA to find your best route. Now I'll turn it over to my Deputy Commissioner of Intelligence and Counterterrorism, Rebecca Weiner, who'll go over some additional details. Rebecca.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another, what looks to be wonderful U.S. Open. Just to reiterate and to expand on a little bit of what the police commissioner said, first of all, extraordinarily grateful as ever for our partnership with the USTA, a partner who is as laser focused on public safety as we are, as well as our federal partners, our state and local partners. We certainly couldn't do any of this alone. There are no specific or credible threats to the U.S. Open. However, we're in a different threat environment than we were last year at this time. And so when we are collectively thinking through all of the measures that we're putting in place around this U.S. Open, we are mindful of what's happening around the world. We will, as ever, have a multi-phased and faceted program around securing this event, which includes intelligence resources, and we are very tuned in to what's happening around the world with an eye on how that could impact the U.S. Open. But again, happy to report no specific or credible threats, and a robust suite of counterterrorism capabilities, which includes K-9 teams, explosive detection, our bomb squad, certainly specialized resources around radiation detection, chem-biorad nuclear, hostile surveillance detection, all of these tiered approaches to making sure that the spectators, that the athletes, that everybody who's involved in this event can have the time that they need and focus on the fun that's in hand. So whether it is barriers or dogs or heavy weapons teams or all of the patrol officers that are going to be stationed around this facility, ingress, egress points and through it, know that this is your team here for your public safety. So as ever, we ask you, if you see something, say something. Let an officer know if something is anomalous. And as a reminder, no unauthorized drones are to be flown over the U.S. Open. We recognize that this is an environment where there's a lot of protest activity. There has been for the last 10 and a half months around the city. But another reiteration that we are not going to tolerate disruption or any illegal activity related to protests around this facility. We want everybody to be together, having a great time, and that's what we anticipate. So thank you so much, and we're going to turn it over.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Assistant Chief Christine Bastiedenbeck. I'm the Commanding Officer of Patrol Borough Queens North. Nearly 1 million spectators are expected to attend the U.S. Open this year. And from past experience, we know that nearly half of them travel by mass transit. And we strongly encourage anyone who is attending to use that, as that will be the quickest and most efficient way to get to the U.S. Open. The NYPD will have a robust detail of officers in place in and around the complex, managing the steady flow of vehicular and pedestrian traffic, those that are traveling with vehicles, and then those who are coming on foot from the subway or our Long Island Railroad. As a reminder, there are many items that are prohibited by the USTA in the facility, such as backpacks, cans and bottles, and computers. The U.S. Open's official website, usopen.org, has a complete list of prohibited items and further details. Please look at that. As for traffic concerns, we anticipate a large number of vehicles to be in and around this event, as there are other major sporting events that will be going on. So if you are driving, we please ask that you give yourself extra time to get here. As always, we are working closely with our local, state, and federal partners in all that we do. And I also want to thank Daniel Zausner, Brian McGuire, and the staff of the USTA, who always help us to ensure that the safety measures that need to be put into place are done intelligently, efficiently, and effectively. All of us together, including an alert public, will help to make this the safe event that we know it will be. I'd now like to introduce the Chief Operating Officer of the USTA, Daniel Zausner.
Thank you, Chief, and good morning to everyone. The U.S. Open just completed our fan week over the last 7 days, where more than 210,000 fans came through our gates. And as the Chief just mentioned, coupled with the 2 weeks of the main draw beginning today, we will see more than 1 million fans for the first time ever. Commissioner and Deputy Commissioner and everybody else up here, let me assure you that the number one reason why our fans feel safe and secure when they're out here, as well as the players, is because of the efforts made by the NYPD and all the units you bring upon us to ensure our success. So believe me when I say thank you from everyone at the USTA for the presence that you bring here over these 3 weeks of the event, and I look forward to growing our event with you in the future, in the years to come. So thank you all for coming out, and thank you for all that you do.
All right, so we'll take a couple of questions. Dean?
With the thousands of additional people coming in each day in the transit system, I'm just wondering how you guys are going to be handling the influx of people, not just coming in here, but also inside the trains and the stations as they come in.
Good question, Dean. Look, this isn't our first time at this event. As usual, in the transit system, our riders are going to see an increased presence, uniform presence. That uniform presence is going to be supplemented also. I think it's very important that people understand there's going to be plainclothes officers also working the trains, on the trains, the platforms, the mezzanines. We're going to have K-9 officers out. We're going to be leveraging technology, specifically drones, over the elevated lines. And again, the takeaway is that the transit system will be heavily policed, and our ultimate goal is the safety of our riders.
All right, Mark, NBC.
Stepping off of Dean's question, for those not taking mass transit, for fans driving here, what would be the message? How will the NYPD balance security and traffic? Will there be more traffic agents? How will that work?
So again, just to reiterate, we still want to make sure that we're encouraging mass transit. But as far as traffic is concerned, we did up our amount of traffic agents, and that's going to help us in two ways. Number one, to facilitate traffic, but also to free up officers to respond to security concerns as they may arise. In addition, we'll also have highway officers that will be on the Grand Central Parkway, and we have tow trucks in case any vehicles break down. So we're going to be looking to expedite traffic.
Phil? Good? Anybody else? All right, thanks, everybody. Let's have a safe event.